I'm warning you.
What?
This week, I'm coming out swinging.
Oh.
I'm hitting hard. I'm asking the important questions. Tackling the big issues. Finding the point to all of this.
By coming out swinging, do you mean you're going to do a lot of really long bits where we just sit here awkwardly while you string together improv stuff?
I ask you, and I want you to answer me seriously here, all right?
Okay.
What do you suppose happened to Benjamin Button's pubic hair?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Word Funk. I am Leon Thomas. I am joined by Austin Yorsky and Johnny Maloney. The archives at the new Channel Awesome website has, if you click on my name, and why wouldn't you? It has Renegade Cut, Word Funk, and it has old episodes of Attack of the Trek there as well. Everything is archived.
I miss Attack of the Trek.
It's okay. You know what I realized earlier when I was looking at the old episodes of Attack of the Trek? I didn't watch them. I meant looking at the titles and everything. Why bother? Is that eventually it was inevitable that I would make the tagline of the show "Set Phasers for Fun." So
if the show would have been called that from the beginning, you would have had a massive hit on your hands. Come on.
God, that would have been awesome. I can't believe I didn't think of that sooner, but it came to me today. Oh well. That's a terrible title. Which is why that is what this episode is going to be called, definitely.
Many years ago, I worked at now it's many years ago, because I like talking about all past as if it happened like deep ago in my lifetime.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Not necessarily in a galaxy, but I like telling people like a long time ago I had toast for breakfast. What I'm really talking about this morning, but a long time ago. This is like a legitimate long time ago, not really that long ago, but long ago. I used to work at a tabletop board game store, and one of my duties there was to write board game reviews, as well as like showcasing, writing like little blurbs of games that had just come out. And I wound up writing about two Star Trek games. One called Fleet Operations, and then another one that's like a tabletop game by Rainier Knizia. The name of the actual board game escapes me, but it was like the first one that I wrote about on Fleet Operations. I was like, I used set phasers for fun, and then the next week when I was reviewing this new Star Trek game that came out, I was like, damn, I can't use set phasers for fun. So I actually wrote into the article, I was like, last week I said set phasers for fun, so I can't really do that this week.
One of the things I miss most about writing professional reviews is I can't do the pun sub-headlines anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
Those are great.
Especially because the Captain Toad reviews just hit this week, because that game comes out tomorrow, and a bunch of them were like, totally awesome, totally great. And I was like, you motherfuckers, I wanted in on this Toad pun extravaganza. It's a seller's market out there. Toad puns as far as the eye can see. Pretty upset.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Who doesn't love a good pun?
If did anyone have a negative review of it? Because if you do, you could say fungus this shit. But I guess Sarah, I'm sorry about that. We have a few things to talk about, and we have to do it before 10 o'clock, because if we don't, my wife will be mad that we're missing American Horror Story. So we have to jump through like lots of hoops and lots of news stories very quickly. The biggest news story, at least for me, is that footage of the next Star Wars movie popped up on the internet. They have a teaser trailer, which means it's only like a minute long, and it showed us almost nothing.
Man,
and yet,
that internet.
and yet, in showing us almost nothing, everyone flipped all of their tables at the same time on the internet, which you'd think you reserve that for when we saw something. But when we saw almost nothing, people still, their brains all exploded like in scanners. So the two major complaints, one is almost valid but kind of silly, and the other one is just super racist. The one complaint that I heard was, hey, lightsabers don't have hand guards. Like, they didn't used to. Here's my response to that. Now they do. Someone decided that it might be a good idea to protect your hand when you're holding one of the most powerful weapons in the galaxy. That makes sense to me. Basically, those little dealies that popped up, you know, the regular lightsaber part of the lightsaber showed up, and then two, like, little red things came to the sides. And everyone was like, that's not traditional. Which I guess if you're some kind of, like, super orthodox Jedi, then that's not kosher for you. But I understand that.
It depends on whether or not you're Yavin Orthodox Jedi or Dantooine Orthodox Jedi.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, okay. The thing is that Disney let us know, all right? Disney let us know that they were going to smash the expanded universe. It's gone. All right?
Okay.
And I'm unhappy about that, but they said, yeah, it's gonna happen. So it's like, yeah, some dude pulls out a sword that has a couple of sticky outy bits at the hilt. And yeah, everybody's like, but that wasn't in any of the comic books, or any of the video games, or any of the novels, or any of those things that Disney says doesn't exist as canon anymore. This is an outrage, sir.
I think all of the new lightsaber jokes have been already made. That was an immediate Twitter flood for me. I had thousands of photoshops. Some of them are pretty good, but I never had any particular problems with it, especially after, I mean, do you guys remember Darth Maul? I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, he whipped out his lightsaber, and then it turned out there were two of them. And in your head, you're like, oh, that makes a whole lot of sense, because why would all lightsabers look exactly alike and function exactly the same? Guns don't work that way. There's all kinds of different guns.
Are you guys telling me that Darth Maul was not the first, like, shopping mall in America to have, like, a functional IMAX theater?
Oh my god.
I have woefully misunderstood Star Wars canon all these years.
So, the thing is, nobody should be super bothered by this if you just, you know, think. Because it's a practical application of a lightsaber technology, for one thing, and for another thing, who cares? It looks cool, you know.
Wait, Leon, you need to care deeply about what space wizards do with laser swords in a fictional universe.
Look.
Okay, because if we don't have order with these things, all right, okay, then obviously the next democratic elections will just descend into chaos where, like, you know, very few people care enough about their actual future and the life that they're living to go out and, try and dictate what's important to them by, like, voting or policy change or something like that. It will be anarchy.
Okay, look.
If we don't sort out our lightsaber handles.
Okay. Here's the thing. Anyone who's watched more than one episode of Renegade Cut probably knows that I love Star Wars, because it seems like every other episode of my show is about Star Wars. I'm speaking hyperbolically, but seriously, there have been like 5 episodes of my not that very long series that have been about Star Wars so far. There's another one coming, by the way.
About why it's called Star Wars, but there's really only one war, and like that's always confused me.
No, I was going to wonder why it isn't called Planet Wars, because none of this takes place on stars.
No, but I mean, like, people say, like, the stars in terms of the space. I could understand it if it was called Star Fights. Or, like, star battles.
Maybe
star disagreements.
Or star people trying to get away from fights until they feel like they're ready for fights, in which case then they fight.
Here's what I think, and this is a brilliant idea on the part of George Lucas. And in order to explain this, I have to talk about the movie Bicycle Thieves. The movie Bicycle Thieves is called...
got way too arty for me.
I know. It's called Bicycle Thieves. And we, in America, it was marketed as The Bicycle Thief for some reason. But that was a bad idea, because it's called Bicycle Thieves because at first, in the beginning of the movie, there's a bicycle thief. And then...
Where does it come from? Sorry, where does this movie produced out of? Because you say it came to America.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Italian.
Okay, so it's not really called Bicycle Thieves then.
No, I'm just saying the literal translation is Bicycle Thieves.
Okay, alright, so in the beginning there's a bicycle thief.
Yes, and spoiler, at the end, our protagonist steals a bicycle, meaning there are actually 2 bicycle thieves in the movie. So, the point I'm trying to make is that the title is a hint at what happens at the end of the film. And yet we lost that when we brought it over and called it The Bicycle Thief, which is wrong. So, here's my point. Star Wars, the original trilogy, hinted at the fact that there will be another war taking place in the prequels. So that's why it's called Star Wars, because Star Wars is about one war, in the original trilogy, and another war that happens in the prequel trilogy with the clones.
But couldn't you make the argument that really it's all one long, protracted war?
I feel like no. I feel
this is the nerdiest bullshit I have ever been a part of.
I'm just getting started, Austin.
No, that's like calling World War I and World War II the same war because they have certain connections between them, and they were both about Germans, partly.
Oh my God.
What you're suggesting is that between the prequels, between Episode 3 and Episode 4, they had years of peace.
There was some unrest, but basically, from what we've been told, there was a long period in which there was not a full-scale war.
I will not accept. I will not accept the Force Unleashed as canon.
Oh my gosh, this is the dumbest thing. Guys.
Hey, I just thought of something. World War I and World War II makes that sense as a Star Wars thing, too, because Hitler was a soldier in World War I, and then he became the big bad in World War II, just like Anakin Skywalker was a soldier in the Clone Wars, and then became the big bad in World War II.
So
History solved.
What you're telling me is that Hitler was a Jedi.
He was a Sith. Let's not give him too much credit. He was a...
No, okay, sorry. But, I mean, he may have started as a Jedi. No.
He wrote Mein Kampf, and that was his turn.
I just wanted to say that we actually should be pretty thankful for the lightsaber we got, because I thought, starting with Maul and the double saber, it's pretty much, and there was that robot guy with like 8 arms?
He had a bunch of them, but they all...
Darth Octopus, I don't know.
No, General Grievous.
Grievous.
Yeah.
Because, that's not an obvious name.
He has various grievances.
Come on, Luke Skywalker?
I
The
know.
series has always sucked at names.
I recognize that. That's like everybody went after The Force Awakens, and they were like, "What a fucking stupid title, The Force Awakens." I'm like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, these are all B science fiction serial names. A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
My favorite Lucas name thing is, he named the fictional Star Wars musical genre Jizz.
What? Wait, what?
I did not know that.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. They play jizz, not jazz. I remember. That's what they play jizz in the Mos Eisley Cantina. That's what.
Yeah.
You're listening to. You have jizz in your ear when you go into the cantina.
Yep, that's the musical genre that plays in that famous scene.
Jizz gets in your ear. They're just like, they're manipulating their hands on instruments to make jizz.
You can't even escape jizz when you go in there. It's just wall-to-wall jizz.
These are the lowest of hanging fruit right now. They're scraping on the ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave this alone right now because I'm afraid even we are better than this.
This show is just Hitler and semen. Look.
Yes.
We have to talk about racism.
Oh,
Because
God.
that's the other thing. The sword thing is like whatever. But apparently, people aren't aware of the fact that there are black people in the Star Wars universe because they didn't watch Empire Strikes Back or any of the prequel trilogies.
Or literally any of the movies at all.
Like, Lando? Excuse me. Lando?
Mace Windu, come on.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny though. People will get mad over black people existing, but aliens are totally fine.
Do you guys think Chewbacca's black?
He's a Wookiee.
He's not anything. He's not white either. He's
Leon, don't diminish Wookiee minorities, okay? Just by saying that you don't see differences in Wookiees doesn't mean that differences in Wookiees don't exist.
Whenever I saw someone say, this is just the work of the social justice warriors, which, by the way, as we've said, is a really stupid term. But
hang on. Well, just because you mentioned that, I'm gonna shake my hands in victory here for a second.
Okay.
Because I'm a better social justice warrior than Austin.
Wait, I wanted to comment on this because yesterday, apparently,
I'm doing a dance.
The hashtag that shall not be named compiled a list of, I think it was like 12,000 Twitter users who were quote-unquote social justice warriors.
I saw it, and I'm not on it.
Yeah, they made this script that automatically blocks them if you are so inclined. Johnny is on it. I am not. And I was curious why that was, because we had a lot of the same opinions. And I realized it's because whatever method they used to compile this, either whatever script or whatever, it utilized the hashtag itself.
Yeah.
And I have never used it.
I never use any hashtags,
which is why I wasn't. Yeah, which is why I wasn't scooped up in that net, and you were. So I don't think you're more.
Just keep telling yourself that, Austin. I like to think that somebody personally went to that list and was like, "This fucker's a problem."
It's also, just if I can again be like completely nerdy here for a second. Or more than a second, really. The idea that people are surprised that there's a black stormtrooper, in, Attack of the Clones, it is confirmed that all clone troopers were cloned from Jango Fett, who is a black guy. So they all look like black guys. So, I mean, I guess in, like, the sequel trilogy that's coming up, they aren't clone troopers anymore. They're like actual... There's tons and tons of black guys under those helmets.
This is a very interesting lead-in to the concept about the economics of a standing army, and whether or not we consider Star Wars to be a universe that still suffers under the yoke of racist economics. Indeed, are many of the stormtroopers forced into a life of soldier and servitude because they don't hit high enough income brackets?
Oh my God, Johnny!
I know. I'm sorry.
When I first
fuck is happening on this show?
I'm kind of amazed that I actually managed to keep a straight face during all of that.
When I saw that the racists are mad about the Star Wars thing, that's one of those things I just write off. It's so obvious that these people are morons. That doesn't even bother me. It's when people are convinced that their racism is righteous or in the right or whatever. Because there's stuff going on right now. I won't bring it onto this podcast, but there's people who are saying racist stuff with good intentions or with what they think are good intentions at least. This is just these people are dumb. They're just not worth being in your brain. If you're mad about black people existing in Star Wars, you can be discarded as a human just right now.
This last week, I came to a really an interesting kind of realization that I mean, not the newest. Maybe I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm probably not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm probably not in the shed. I'm probably like that shovel that you've left in the ground.
Oh my God, we don't have that much time.
All right, fine. But it seems to me, this realization that I had, it seems to me that it was that you can tell the people who are lamenting about social justice warriors because they are they're upset about having their world shaken. That, being told that maybe some video games have tones of misogyny in them. They're like, oh my God, but I'm not a misogynist. I like this game. Then therefore the game is not misogynist because I don't hate women and I like this game. But then there's other people that are like, holy crap. I can say that I hate black people by saying that I hate the people who are defending black people. Man, them social justice warriors is really terrible.
Johnny Maloney, metaphor torturer.
Yeah, all I'll say about this...
Metaphor?
As someone who has been called a social justice warrior myself,
Not on the list.
Not on the list, apparently. I escaped the list. But it's always like, we've said this before, it's the stupidest term, because wouldn't the opposite of that be like antisocial injustice wimps or something?
Antisocial injustice cowards.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if that's your insult, you have to think about, well, what does that make you? So I don't know. Basically, people with a basic understanding of human compassion are always social justice warriors. Is always kind of weird to me. But anyway, black people are in Star Wars. Deal with it. That's all there is to it. Oh, and
John Boyega actually said that.
Oh, good. Okay, well, there you go. And by the way, really good actor. See Attack the Block. That's where the theme song to Renegade Cut comes from. Anyway, we should really...
Loads of charisma, that guy. Loads of charisma.
Super cool. Okay, the only thing that... I was actually going to avoid the trailer altogether because I wanted to go in fresh, but everyone showed me every picture of it on Twitter and Tumblr, so I ended up seeing it. And apparently, now we know John Boyega is playing a stormtrooper. That's all I know about the movie so far.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. Here's the thing. I was in the same boat as you, Leon, but I've seen every, like, relevant gif of it. I've seen, like, the rolling ball droid, the lightsaber, the guy in the desert. I haven't actually watched the trailer, though, but I feel like I have. Because social media. We should talk, I know you want to move on really quickly but about going in fresh on stuff, because this is like a new thing I've been trying after I skipped all of the media going up to Guardians of the Galaxy, went in completely blind, and it was like the best experience I've had in like a decade. So I'm trying to do that with Star Wars. I'm trying to do that with Jurassic Park or Jurassic World or whatever, and like the new Persona game. That's like my goal, but in this age of like omnipresent media and like PR and stuff, it's impossible. I can't get away from this Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. It's just I'm gonna keep trying, but we'll see. All right, we gotta move on. Austin, you have video game news for us. Things about the games.
The video games.
The video games. Not just games, because the Game Awards have told us that the only games games are video games.
Are we talking about the Game Awards or the game?
Oh my god. I hope everyone enjoyed that banner. So yeah, here we go. Video game news. Austin, hit it.
Do you want me to run through both of the ones we picked out, or should I leave one for Johnny?
Let's
I have enough stuff to talk about.
Johnny has another thing to talk about.
Okay.
Let's do both stories.
I'll do one real quick, because this one actually was resolved later in the day from when I saw it. When it first came up, it was that Microsoft has not been paying indie Xbox Live developers for the games for the 360. The way that the system works is that they're paid 4 times a year in an automated system, and they have missed their last payment in November, and some developers are speaking out, most notably Robert Boyd of Z-Boyd Games. They made Cthulhu Saves the World and the Penny Arcade games. So it was cool of him to stand up.
Some of the Penny Arcade games, some of them.
3 and 4.
Yeah.
So he stood up basically for everyone and saying, hey, Microsoft isn't paying us. That's kind of bullshit. And that was like the story for a while. But actually, Microsoft just released a tweet saying that it was like a problem with their system or something, and they apologized, and I guess they're going to pay them.
Because when you have problems paying people money that you owe money, it's best to handle it on Twitter.
Yeah, this is weird. I want to say first, like, I've given Microsoft a lot of shit over the last year or so, a lot to do with the Xbone, but like the Xbox One actually has a really strong holiday presence right now. They got Sunset Overdrive, they got the Halo Master Chief Collection. They're actually poised for, I think they have a better position right now than PlayStation does going into...
They got a great sale price, too.
Yeah, they just had that price drop. So I don't want to come out like full like negative here. They're making steps, but this is weird, especially in light of some of the other indie stuff. Like PlayStation's taking a strong stance on indies. You got Steam is just snapping everybody up. You got the Greenlight thing. Why is Microsoft treating indie developers so bad recently? What's going on there?
Because they're a sprawling, bloated, giant organization that can't even see its left hand when it's looking at its right. I mean, I'm not trying to draw the fat cat illusion here, but I'm basically just trying to say is that what we've got is we've got an organization that is essentially trying to manage game development studios, operating system design. They've started their own line of merchandising stores now. They're trying to do damage control on Windows 8. They are rolling out phones. They are doing everything all at the same time. And I'll bet you that nobody else knows what anybody else is doing. It's going to be a giant system of headless chickens at this point in time, basically, is what I think it is. It's a bunch of guys in charge who all think they're in charge, running in directions that they think are the right way to go, and then forgetting to, draw maps for each other.
I think there's something to be said about the management situation at Microsoft. I mean, at a company that size, you're always going to have, weird outlying things like this, no matter what.
Let's not forget that they had some recent juggles as well.
Mm-hmm. People going in and out. The Xbox division is its own thing, separate from you were saying about operating systems and hardware and stuff.
You'd to think so, but there's one guy. There's a guy who browses an email once a morning and goes, okay, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is symptomatic of a larger kind of mishandling of the indie scene by the Xbox brand recently, because they used to be the place to go. Xbox Live was, where Braid was. It was where, all of the coolest new shit.
Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, as seen in
first, yeah.
Indie Game the movie. That was one of the things that made their name. It's a very good movie. But now it's the least reliable. Even Nintendo is getting more pull with indies nowadays, which is really super weird. I still don't know how I feel about buying independent games on a Nintendo platform. It feels wrong, but I don't know, guys. It's very strange.
I would be curious to know what Nintendo's margins were.
They got the Commander Video trophy in Smash Brothers, though.
I know. I'm not in a critical way. I'm not being Nintendo. What's really going on there? But I would be curious, because we're getting to that day and age where people start actually seeing what's going on with each developer. Because many developers in the past about Microsoft have talked very poorly about what's happened to them. Z-Boyd Games, you mentioned. Mm-hmm. They have, when Cthulhu Saves the World finally came to open markets, they were like, wow, okay, great. Same with Super Meat Boy. And I remember even Remedy Entertainment had some choice words about dealing with Microsoft Game Studios over Alan Wake. Although now Quantum Break is going to be another Xbox exclusive, so you're like, gee, I wonder what's going on there.
Money is what's going on there, Johnny.
Well, Austin, please, could you leave me a little room for inflection? Trying to be subtle here. God, and you wonder why I make boner jokes.
They are easier.
They're great.
Poor Leon's when is the video game talk going to be over? I know. I'm sorry. Moving on. This one you can jump in, because there's another story. This is maybe the juicier one. Is that
Just Cause 2 is awesome. That's the story. No, I'm sorry.
It is really awesome. But Target, the store brand of Australia specifically, they pulled Grand Theft Auto 5 from their stores, citing, I guess, a petition online that the game promoted violence towards women. And it's interesting because Australia has a long history of being really strange about their ratings and what can and cannot be brought over there. They have a very patronizing view of their video game consumers.
It's pretty stringent, yeah.
Yeah, for the longest time they didn't even have an 18+ rating, which means anything with significant violence wouldn't be available at all. Grand Theft Auto 5 isn't actually particularly more violent than a lot of the mainstream shooters and whatnot on the market, and I think this is a strange one because it got rated by their boards, so it's legal to sell there. But one store pulled it, and now people are concerned that this is some kind of part of the backlash about Anita Sarkeesian and stuff, the sexism thing. I'm trying to talk around
You're dancing around something very gracefully.
I do not want to bring that on here, but you know what I'm saying.
It's not very graceful at all. What I see is Austin kind of like flailing up against a giant wooden door.
Look,
just kind of being like, I don't want to knock, let me in.
Look, I think it's no great secret that I would, we said this before, I'd like to see games starring more women and games not treating women like basically NPC prostitutes, and that's about it, and things like that. There are some mischaracterizations of women in gaming. The thing about and I mean, look at Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, the fact that they like refuse to have a woman as a playable character says a lot. When they had 3 playable characters and they just refused altogether. So there are serious issues with the way women are portrayed in video games, or just not portrayed at all, ignored. Is this game the last straw? Because I haven't played it myself, so I can't say for sure.
I think I'm the only one on here who has.
But if it's just another Grand Theft Auto game, it's just another violent game. This doesn't really seem like this should be like, this one is just a bridge too far. I mean,
the thing.
If they were releasing a game and it was called like Wife Beater or something, then I would be like, you know what, Target, more power to you. For, that's gross. And if that's really the object of the game, then you don't need that in your store. Nobody needs that in any of your stores. Go ahead. Because that would be disgusting. And frankly, there are disgusting games like that made on the internet. It's a Grand Theft Auto game. It's rated, well, the Australian equivalent for M for mature. People are going to buy it or people are not going to buy it, whether it's in Target or not. So I'm kind of two minds. In a way, I want to see there to be I want there to be like a dialogue about how women are portrayed in video games, but I just don't know if this is the game that went too far, because as far as I know, it's not. It's just another violent game.
I mean, Grand Theft Auto used to be dangerous and edgy. It used to be counterculture, but now it's mainstream. And like, one of my problems with 5 specifically is that it didn't do anything subversive. Like, the violence is the same old violence. The sexism is the same old sexism. It didn't push the envelope in even like interestingly bad ways or wrong ways that would offend people, except for maybe the torture scene, and that has nothing to do with women. This feels kind of like just on the reputation of GTA. People think, oh, you can murder prostitutes and get your money back after you have sex with them, but like, that's never a mission the game gives you. That's just a thing you can do. You can do that in real life too. The real life is
don't though.
Yeah, Wordfunk does not endorse sleeping with prostitutes and murdering them to get your money back. But my point is...
Hey, I didn't say I didn't endorse sleeping with prostitutes.
Oh gosh, sex-positive feminism, guys.
But say other things.
Hijacked!
The thing is, this isn't like you said, Leon, this isn't like the straw that broke the camel's back or anything. It's not a particularly interestingly disturbed look at how we treat women or anything. It's a very strange game to pick up as an example of this, which is it's a troubling trend. We've talked about this before, about the way video games treat women, but this is strange. I'm not sure.
Actually saw a really great video, and I reblogged it on my Tumblr if you want to go look at it, or I'm sure it's very easy to find on any Google search. But it's basically a bunch of men giving 25 or 20 examples of how just being a guy playing a game gives you unspoken privilege that a woman would not get.
That's a feminist frequency video.
Right.
It was written by a writer for Polygon, I think. I can't remember his name right now. I think it's John something
it's really good, and it makes you think, and it says things that you probably just took for granted as like a guy playing a video game. When I say you took for granted, I don't mean you, Johnny. I mean we people in general. I'm saying,
but I do take it for granted. I mean, like the whole point about this thing is that we go day to day being able to forget these situations.
Yeah.
Not because that they're forgettable or not because they're not worth addressing, but because they aren't a day-to-day remembrance. They aren't they're not something that we have to deal with on a constant basis.
It's interesting, Leon, that you felt the need to specify. You weren't calling anyone out specifically. I found that's really...
I was mostly joking, but...
I know, but I find that's a really common reaction when people talk about, white privilege or male privilege. Someone's like, oh, male privilege this or that, and someone's like, well, I'm not a racist. It's like, I didn't say what? Like, what are you talking about? This has nothing to do with you. I actually follow, I guess, a professor and, game streamer guy who's talking about race and politics and stuff earlier on Twitter, and he was just basically talking about, privilege and the intersection of these things, and someone's like, my grandpa had it really hard coming to this country and he was white, and I was just like, what? What does this have anything to do with it?
It's unrelated. It's completely unrelated. It's jumping on to something someone is saying and saying, yeah, but also, as if that negates the first thing said. It's like the, and I'll just get super political here, because why not? We've already gone, completely over the edge on this episode anyway. There's a hashtag, called, Black Lives Matter, because of, some terrible unrest that's going on right now. And someone decided that they had to do another hashtag called All Lives Matter, as if you had to specify that. That's not what this is about. You don't have to say, but also, this is about a specific thing.
Mm-hmm. People get really uncomfortable if you talk about things that aren't them. Yep. Oh, gosh. This has been the most political episode of Word Funk or any podcast we've ever done.
Yeah.
This is really unlike us.
Actually. Yeah, I do.
No, but I let's just fucking do it sometime. First of all, no one's gonna stop us. That's number one, and I feel like I need to address that right now. We said way more outlandish things on BT podcast. Mm-hmm. Not I don't mean political things, just things that were frankly out of order.
Gross inhuman things.
Right. We were trying to, in our efforts to be funny.
Eldritch and terrible things.
In our efforts to be funny, we may have crossed the line once or twice on BT Podcast. And we are pretty foul language, use pretty foul language on, this podcast as well. The point I'm trying to make is, nobody has shut us down yet. We're kind of under the radar in a lot of ways. Mike Mashad knows who I am, but he's like, yeah, do your podcast. So I don't really feel like we're in any serious trouble. And
basically what Leon is trying to say is if Word Funk suddenly gets canceled, it's because somebody listened to it.
Don't you guys see, though, that even if we were, incredibly popular and millions of people listen to us, we could say whatever we want because we're white dudes? That's a function of privilege, is that we don't need to worry about stuff like that.
Neat. And neat. No, I'm saying I understand what you're saying. I didn't mean yeah. I meant
it is kind of yeah.
I'm so fucking privileged over here. No, I mean yes, I'm acknowledging what you're saying.
Neat.
It's so great to be able to just walk around and not have to worry about being shot by police.
Oh, God.
Don't you guys ever just appreciate that? You just go about your business?
I honestly do. I seriously do. And I don't even live in America.
That's the thing. I've talked about before.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I've talked before about how I have a slightly criminal history. Never in my mind, when I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, did it occur to me that I could be shot for doing them. My worst fear was that I would be caught and someone would tell my parents. Oh no. That's the worst thing that can happen to a white person. And it's kind of...
Sorry, Austin. Continue.
No, it's great in a way, but it sucks that everyone else has to worry about being shot in the face.
I just wanted to jump in quickly and say that, by admitting that I'm a Canadian, doesn't mean that I'm not acknowledging any social problems that our country has. For example, transsexuals, feminism, Aboriginal, Native culture, because, oh boy, do we have some issues.
Oh.
Widespread maple syrup theft.
God.
Moose laundering.
No, it's not really widespread. Because you remember a couple years ago there was that giant maple syrup heist in Quebec?
I do remember. That's what I was referring to. I do remember that was a thing.
Yeah. See, that was a big story, Austin. Huge story. And that's because maple syrup doesn't get stolen usually in Canada.
It's rude.
Everybody was like, oh my God! Somebody took it! So...
It was so impolite of them. So un-Canadian.
They didn't even apologize. Fuckers.
Wow.
We have 15 minutes. You want to transition into the last story here?
Yeah, Johnny, you had a thing.
All right.
Is it politically charged and likely to get us in trouble like everything else we've been talking about on this show for some reason?
No,
or?
actually, it's not.
Fuck it. It's Leon's fucking career who's on the line here. I don't have any...
You guys are just along for the ride. I'm the one putting this up in my fucking blip.
I'll burn this bitch down. I don't give a fuck.
Let's light the rockets on the sled and go downhill like a couple of motherfucking rock stars, boys.
I'll bring the sparklers.
So,
do your thing.
America. I would like to talk to you about one of my favorite people in the world.
Is it me?
You are one of my favorite people in the world, but I'm not going to fillet you on the podcast.
After.
I'll do that on Twitter, or in the seedy back room of some weird Edmonton gambling den. Because I'm going to make you come to Canada for it. I
wasn't sure there was more to that sentence at first.
I'm not going to Florida to fillet you, Austin. So, all right, be cool. I want to talk to you, America, about one of my favorite people in the world today. His name is Charlton Brooker, commonly known as Charlie. Now, Charlie Brooker is an English person of note. He's a satirist. He's a writer. He's an ex-video games journalist for PC Zone. He's a television host. He's a columnist for The Guardian. And he is literally the snarkiest man in the world. And he's fantastic. I'm telling you about him because at large, I doubt that many of you have been exposed to him. When I was first exposed to him, my initial reaction within a minute was, oh, I guess he's the British Jon Stewart. But after that minute, I was like, wow, no. Jon Stewart is the weak Charlie Brooker. The reason I bring Charlie Brooker up is because you guys have a great opportunity on American Netflix as of the beginning of this week.
So real Netflix.
Real Netflix. If you want to diminish every other Netflix in the world.
I do. No, I'm sorry. No, I only meant that it's originally an American product.
True Netflix. Plato's World of Forms Netflix. There we go.
I apologize to the rest of the world.
Netflix as you imagine it to be.
Oh my God.
You have an opportunity to watch 2 seasons of a show called Black Mirror. Now, granted, each 2 of these seasons is only 3 episodes long, but Charlie Brooker created and co-wrote. Well, he created the series and co-wrote, I think, all of the episodes. It's awesome. It's a Twilight Zone kind of style episodic look at the intersection between technology and humanity in some really weird, darker ways. The first episode, for example, is about the Prime Minister of England getting a ransom video from somebody who has kidnapped the princess of the royal family.
Does England still have princesses? Is that a thing?
I mean, it's kind of set in, that's the thing, like, the episodic nature, it's sort of like, this might be the future, or, it's a little like, it's not quite now.
So you're telling me that this is not a TV show version of the Arcade Fire song of the same name?
No, it's definitely not.
I'm just being the Johnny on this one, interrupting you with inane bullshit.
That's fine. I'm cool. I know how to deal with myself. I've had to do it for like fucking 3 decades and some change. So yeah, he gets this video, ransom note, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna kill her if by 4 o'clock today on live television the Prime Minister doesn't fuck a pig.
Now I'm sold. Watching it. Queuing it up.
But no, you see, but that's the thing, is that it's like, it's this weird kind of like, okay, so no real, demands, no nothing, but it's like, obviously, whoever is doing this has something to prove. And it's like, yeah, fuck a pig, live, on TV, on every network, live, finish. All the way through. And it's like, and that's just the first episode. Episodes after that, they don't follow the same characters, they're not sequential, they don't even necessarily happen in the same universe. Charlie Brooker is one of the cleverest men on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. He's savvy, he's hilarious. He runs a number of shows in the UK. My favorite, if you want to have a look at Charlie Brooker as clever, irreverent, and just brutal, there's a television show he ran called How TV Ruined Your Life. And it is fantastic. I owe it to my partner. She introduced me to this. But, like, sit down and watch How TV Ruined Your Life. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. Sit down and watch Black Mirror. This guy writes some pretty fucking phenomenal shit. And I am so sad that he doesn't have a larger audience than Britain. Not to diminish Britain, or like, he's probably in the rest of Europe as well. But dear God.
Praise be his antlers.
Praise be, he is the avatar of Gorfanax.
You said dear God, so never mind. But, okay.
I'm sorry, I can't get over it. I've watched a few episodes of Black Mirror now, and it's knocking my socks off, and I've known about him for years, but it's really weird to like introduce to people, be like, hey, do you want to watch something that maybe looks like the British Daily Show?
I like British TV, especially because all of the seasons are like 2 episodes long, so you can get through it really fast.
Yeah, so Black Mirror right now is 6 episodes on Netflix. And they're not like supercharged episodes where you get like 140 minutes of content.
Oh God, like Sherlock? Ugh.
Yeah, not like Sherlock. No,
yeah, while we're pissing off everyone, I hate Sherlock. I
do too, it's not a good show.
I know you both hate Sherlock. I love it. I'm a fucking Conan Doyle fanboy.
Have higher standards, Johnny.
I know that there are problems with the show, alright?
Alright, anything more we want to say on this topic before we, whatever? I feel like we've lost the thread.
No, it's just I haven't seen the show, so I can't really say anything about it, although even Johnny's recommendation means a lot to me, so I'll be checking it out.
I will.
I don't know this guy either. The guy you're talking about, whose name is, you just said like 1,000 times, Charlie Brooker. I haven't seen any of his stuff, but I will look into that. It's great when you stumble upon somebody who you weren't aware of, and they have like this huge body of work that you can just wade into. That's fun.
I checked out his Wikipedia page. He is apparently a cool guy.
Nice.
I'm dead serious. I mean, of things that you should watch, check out How TV Ruined Your Life and watch Black Mirror.
Okay.
I know that at least one episode of Black Mirror has already been optioned for, like, a full motion picture movie.
How shitty of a name is motion picture? I just want to throw that out there. That's a terrible name for a medium.
I know. It's nowhere near as good as video games.
Actually, even movies.
Yeah, we've sort of accepted that it's just called a movie when it really is just it's someone's like quirky way of saying it's moving, in the same way they said it's a talkie.
That's like
it's moving. Well, how would you describe it? I don't know. It moves. It's movie.
So little 20s slang has made it to modern times, but that one we can't get rid of.
I still feel like we should call the television the Pictocube. It's jumping box.
Mine's not a cube. It's now an image wall.
I know. We have to go very soon. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about the new website we're on now, or?
I mean, you might as well just pimp it. Because, presumably people are on it if they're listening to this. I don't know how else they would acquire this episode, but it's a thing now.
Well, Wordfunk is also on Nerdvice, but channelawesome.com is a thing. What do you guys think of the new website redesign? Because everyone on my Twitter, even though I kind of like it, everyone on my Twitter is like throwing like burning Doug Walker in effigy or something because it's too white or something.
That's racist.
It is. It is super racist. No, I think it looks fine. It's not a giant leap forward. It's one step forward, and that's good enough for me. All right, but in all seriousness, I kind of dig it. But whatever. I'm obviously super biased. Anything? I was gonna make this like a big speech about how everyone's complaining over nothing, but I was like, people have valid concerns. They can voice them. I don't care. I certainly am very critical of lots of things. So I'm not going to be like, you take out a Benny straw and suck my ass. So, I'm not going to be a jerk about it. So.
That would have been the title if I was editing this.
Yeah, you absolutely can't do that. God. Now, anything you guys want to say right before we go? Because we seriously have a minute.
I think his pubes fell out. Because I just
now you have to keep that thing.
I can't imagine a baby with pubes.
Okay.
Now you have to keep the thing in from earlier for that to have context.
Yeah, I guess I have to. I'll try to find a way. No, seriously, if you have any thoughts about Wordfunk or about Channel Awesome, write them in the comments. Someone will read them, not me. So, Austin, that's your job.
I guess that means I'm on deck.
Yeah, you guys have to read it and filter out all the shit and just tell me anything meaningful that needs to be said. That's what you guys do. I think that's what you do.
Everybody loves you, Leon.
Oh, good.
And nobody has a bad thing to say about you, and from now on, everything will be wonderful forever.